Cheat code. Support strategist. By clouds. My head in the clouds, not coming down. On AO3. Chapter 8. Friends. Bakugo Katsuki and Izuku Midoriya, please report to the principal's office. Bakugo Katsuki and Izuku Midoriya. Izuku froze in his seat as his classroom exploded in whispers at the announcement. He hesitantly looked at Kachan, but whipped his head down to look at the floor the second he saw the death glare that Kachan was leaving at him. Why were they being called down to the office? And together? Was this about... No, it couldn't be about the teasing. They've never done anything about it before, so there wasn't any reason for them to do anything now, especially now that Kachan had gotten into UA's hero course. So that meant that Izuku was probably in trouble for something. But what? And why would Kachan have to come too? Izuku gathered his things and walked out into the hallway, careful to keep a few steps behind Kachan so he didn't think that Izuku was trying to get ahead of him. Unfortunately, his efforts to not make Kachan angry were in vain, because as soon as they turned the corner, Izuku found himself being slammed against the wall. "What is this about, Deku?" Kachan growled. "What did you do?" "I don't know, I swear." Izuku held his bag secretly against his chest, so Kachan couldn't grab it. His eyes flickered down to smoke billowing from his hands. "Let's just go. We probably shouldn't keep the principal waiting." Kachan clicked his tongue dismissively, but released his hold on Izuku and kept walking towards the principal's office. Izuku took a deep breath to steady himself before hurrying after him, leaving a large gap between him this time so he wouldn't have a bit more of a warning if Kachan decided to confront him again. When they went to the office, Kachan knocked on the door and shot a warning glare back at Izuku before the door swung open. The principal was a man who really seemed too young to be balding, but that didn't stop him. Izuku had been to his office a few times in the past, none of which was necessarily been pleasant, so the smile on the principal's face didn't do anything to put him at ease. In fact, it made the whole thing worse and unsettling, because Izuku honestly couldn't think of a single reason why he'd be called down to the office if he wasn't in trouble. "I just wanted to be the first person from our school to congratulate the both of you," the principal said. "I can't believe we have not one, but two students from our school will be attending UA, and to think that one of them's Midoriya. It's honestly a miracle." Izuku gulped as he felt the heat of Kachan's glare on him. Or maybe it was the literal heat. Had Kachan activated his quirk? He wouldn't do that in the principal's office, would he? Would the principal let him get away with it? He didn't know why he'd assumed he'd be lucky enough not to have anybody in his middle school know he'd made it into UA. It had been so nice these past months with nobody knowing about his new dream, but of course Alguera had to be sent their exams. He'd been even more of an idiot for somehow not preparing for the eventuality of Kachan finding out. They were going to be attending the same high school. They'd run into each other eventually, even if they were in different courses. Well, there was nothing he could do about that now. Izuku forced a shaky smile on his face. "Thank you, sir. I hope we'll make you proud." The principal nodded and gestured for them to leave. Izuku stood awkwardly for a second, waiting for Kachan to leave first, but he just glared at him until Izuku finally gave in and scurried towards the door. He just wanted to go back in class and pretend that the principal hadn't known exactly what he was doing by calling them both out in the office at the same time. He wanted to pretend that his new dream was still safe. He wanted to pretend that Kachan was like me and was excited that they would be going to the same school rather than enraged. Instead, reality grabbed him roughly by an arm and dragged him outside, taking him straight to an alcove behind the locker rooms that didn't have any cameras. At this time of day, even if Kachan would let loose an explosion, no one on the other side would hear them, which also meant that no one would be around to hear Izuku's screams. Not that they would help him if they did hear, but it was the principle of things. Izuku couldn't hold back a sharp cry as he was shoved against the wall for the second time in 10 minutes. Kachan glared down at him. This time Izuku knew that the heat wasn't just his glare as he felt the skin on his chest blister where Kachan's hands were holding his shirt. "I thought you'd given up on being a hero, nerd." Izuku trembled as he realized he'd never actually seen Kachan this angry before. This was bad, even worse than usual. What would happen if Kachan killed him? Would they give his place at UA to someone else? Would me find someone else to make inventions with? Would anyone even notice he was gone? "I bet you had a great time laughing behind my back these past months, haven't you?" Kachan sneered, "pretending to have given up when you really were lying to us the whole time. How'd you even pass the exam, you damn nerd?" Izuku hissed in pain as Kachan let loose an explosion to his chest. I was supposed to be the first and only student from this crappy school to make it into UA, and you had to go and ruin it. Kachan yelled. Well, I hope your fun was worth it because it's over, Deku. I don't care if you somehow cheated and made it into UA, you're not gonna be a hero. I'm in the support course, Kachan, Izuku yelled. He was trembling from pain, the anxiety, and now the emotional expert it took to yell at his oldest friend. I didn't lie to you, Katsuki. I gave up on being a hero months ago. I didn't even try for the hero course exam like you did. So don't get angry at me for chasing a dream that doesn't even affect you. He grabbed the arm that was holding him against the wall and shoved it away, then ran as fast as he could away from the school. He'd undoubtedly get in trouble for skipping class, but they wouldn't risk suspending him or punishing him too drastically now that he'd be attending UA. They wanted the positive attention too bad for that. Maybe that's why they let Katsuki get away with everything they did, because he was the student with the greatest chance of making it big. Izuku could hardly see through his tears as he ran home on an autopilot, shooting a text to me from her to call him when she had the minute. He didn't know what he'd say if she called. There was too many emotions for him to process alone. Thankfully, Mom was at work, so he didn't have to worry about her seeing him barge through the doors, tears running down his face as he went straight to the bathroom to bandage the ugly burn on his chest. To his surprise, Izuku's phone rang just as he was about to take off his uniform. He looked at the screen to see Mel's name on it. Shouldn't you be in class right now? I told the teacher I accidentally added an unstable comment to my cell phone battery and it was going to explode, and if I didn't answer the call right now. Anyway, Mi said. I've actually done this before, so he didn't really question it. You've actually blown up your phone by accident? Izuku asked numbly. It wasn't a very large explosion, Mi dismissed. But what's going on? Your text sounded very upset, and now your voice is doing that weird choky thingy it does when you've been crying. Izuku tried to hold back a sob, but it tore itself out from his chest anyway. Everyone at school found out I'm going to UA. There was a beat of silence on the other end. Isn't that a good thing? Shouldn't they be happy for you? No, you don't understand. I'm Quirkless, Izuku yelled, and then immediately felt like a bucket of ice water had been dumped all over his head as he realized what he just said. He hadn't meant for her to know. And he was looking forward to having a friend. I'm sorry. I'll just let you go. You didn't need to leave class, and you don't need to call me again. I'm sorry. Oh no, Izuku, hacker, Midoriya, don't you dare hang up on me. Izuku stopped with his thumb halfway to the end call button. Did you just use hacker as my middle name? Well, I don't know your real one, and I needed a placeholder to get the full effect, Mi explained. So, Izuku, Hacker, Midoriya, don't you dare think that I'm gonna abandon all the amazing babies we're gonna make together just because you have some extra joint or whatever. I know for a fact that you're smarter than that, so I don't want to hear it. Izuku's jaw dropped as he gaped at the realization in the mirror. What, you're still talking to me. Obviously, Mi huffed. So, did one of your bullies get mad at you because you made it in? Izuku put his phone on speaker so he could focus on treating the burn. I don't know if bully's the right word. We used to be best friends, so it sounds so wrong to call him anything other than that, but, well, we haven't really hung out since his quirk came in, so... That was 10 years ago, Izuku-kun, Mi said bluntly. What? That was 10 years ago, Mi repeated. If you haven't hung out in 10 years, you're not still friends. Did he hurt you? Izuku hissed in pain as his shirt pulled away from his burnt skin. Today? Mi made a little exaggerated noise. Ever! Izuku looked at the angry red burn in the mirror. Definitely hurt. Mi groaned. For someone who's so smart, you're really an idiot. Are you in pain right now? If I say no, are you gonna believe me? Not a chance in hell, Izuku. Izuku grimaced. Then yes. Mi sighed. I'm gonna kill him. He did that just because you got into UA and he didn't? Oh no, he got in too. Izuku ran a washcloth under the cold water. He's in the hero course. That's part of why he's so angry. They let your bully in the hero course? Millie yelled so loudly that the audio in his voice cracked. Like I said, bully isn't really the right word. Just because you were friends once doesn't mean he's not your bully, Izuku, Mi said, then continued more quietly. It also doesn't mean you deserve it. Izuku's hands soared to stop from where he'd been gently patting the washcloth to his chest. What? You don't deserve the way he treats you, Izuku, Mi said. What's his excuse? That you don't have a quirk? Not your fault. Try again. Izuku thought for a moment. Until about a year ago, I still wanted to be a hero despite that? Not a crime, Mi said. Tons of kids want to be heroes. Try again. Izuku was starting to smile in spite of himself. I kept complimenting his quirk, which he somehow interpreted as me thinking I was better than him. I'm not even gonna try. This guy's an idiot. Next. Izuku laughed. I kept following him around like a lost puppy. Anyone would be lucky to have your brilliant mind behind them, he said. Any other complaints? Izuku hesitated. He knew that he'd probably make me laugh, but it felt almost blasphemous to say. He's a dick? Ding 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 ding, me crackled. We have a winner! For real though, Izuku, that guy's a jerk, and if he ever comes for me for babies, I'll... Izuku wasn't sure he'd actually wanted to know. You'll what? I'll use cheap materials, me blurted. No, I can't do that. My babies deserve only the best. I'll figure it out, but it won't be pretty. Izuku laughed. Thanks, me. That means a lot. So, are you feeling any better? Izuku shrugged as he spread the burn cream on his chest. It was definitely going to scar. I don't know, I just wished he hadn't taken it so personally, you know? I wasn't even trying to get into the hero course. Izuku's sadness started slowly being pushed away by Mi's enthusiasm, and it was quickly being replaced by something he wasn't used to letting himself feel. Anger. Couldn't he just let me have this one thing without ruining it? Izuku ranted. I mean, I already made him make sure I knew my last dream was a big fat pile of nothing, so he could just be happy with that. No, he has to ruin my new one, too. Then don't let him, Mi said. It's your dream, not his. So that bully doesn't get any say. You're going to be an amazing support analyst, Izuku, and he can't do anything about it. Izuku finished wrapping the bandage around his chest and grabbed the phone as he headed to his room to pick out a t-shirt. I don't know, it feels like he can. I know, Mi said, but hey, now you have me, and we're friends, and I'm not gonna give up on you. We're gonna take you away by storm, and that guy's gonna regret ever hurting you. Izuku chuckled. Okay, good, Mi said relentlessly. Now, do you find anything else about that jet quirk from the exam? My Hoover boot babies are having problems staying in the air. I love their friendship. I love their friendship. I need a Mi. Also, if you commented in yesterday's video that I did pronounce Mi's name wrong, I have not seen it because I am recording this 2 days in advance, or 3 technically, by posting of this one. So, that's not going to be fixed till next week. So, as always, make sure to eat, sleep, drink water, take your meds, and have a wonderful day or night, depending on when you're watching this. And thank you so much for watching.